हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हो? आपका स्वागत है त्रिपान स्टडी सेंटर में। आज जो हम करने जा रहे हैं क्लास 10 एनआईसी बोर्ड का जो है चैप्टर नंबर 25, जिसमें आज हम करेंगे सोशल इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट एंड एम्पावरमेंट ऑफ डिसएडवांटेज ग्रुप। इसका अर्थ यही हुआ कि सामाजिक आर्थिक विकास तथा जो है अभावग्रस्त समूहों का जो है सशक्तिकरण। तो काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण चैप्टर होने वाला है। ये टॉपिक रहेगा कई मायने में हर एक क्लास के बच्चों के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट रहेगा, चाहे वो सीबीएसई में पढ़ते हों, चाहे एनआईएस बोर्ड के बच्चे हों, चाहे यूपी बोर्ड के बच्चे हो, चाहे बिहार बोर्ड के बच्चे हो। इवन कि जो बच्चे कंपटीशन की तैयारी कर रहे हैं उनको जो है विस्तार पूर्वक पढ़ना है, समझना है, तो उसके उनके लिए भी काफ़ी महत्वपूर्ण रहने वाला है। लेकिन आपको पता है कि चैप्टर स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक बात जो मैं सदैव कहता हूं, जिसको आपको सोचना भी चाहिए, विचार भी करना चाहिए और इवन अमल भी करना चाहिए, वो ये है कि जब भी वीडियो देखिए पूरा देखिए, क्योंकि अधूरा जानकारी सदैव खतरनाक होता है। साथ में एक इंपॉर्टेंट बात ये भी रहता है, अगर आप पहली बार वीडियो देख रहे हो तो लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना, क्योंकि दोस्तों लाइक कीजिएगा तो बनाने वाले का मनोबल बढ़ता है, सब्सक्राइब कीजिएगा तो इससे ये होता है कि जब भी मैं कोई वीडियो डालूंगा उसका नोटिफिकेशन आपको समय रहते मिल जाएगा। और देखिए शेयर का मतलब ये होता है कि आपके थ्रू ना जाने किन बच्चों को हेल्प मिल जाए, ये आप भी नहीं जानोगे, इसलिए जो है आप शेयर जरूर करो, ठीक है। व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे भी लगाओ। दोस्तों एनआईएस सेंटर जो है कई मानने में बहुत से बच्चों के लिए हेल्पफुल है, चाहे वो 8th क्लास हो, 9th 10th 11th 12th हो, चाहे वो एनआईएस बोर्ड के बच्चे हों, ठीक है, चाहे बीए एमए के बच्चे हो, सभी क्लासों के लिए कुछ ना कुछ जो है त्रिपान सेंटर में उपलब्ध है। तो इसलिए आपके लिए ज़रूरी है कि आप सब्सक्राइब करके इसको चैनल को जो है सेव कर लो, नहीं तो बाद में अगर रिसर्च करोगे तो शायद आपको ये चैनल प्राप्त ना हो। तो इसलिए सोचना नहीं, विचार नहीं करना है, सब्सक्राइब करके जो है अपने पास सेव करना है। दोस्तों ये तो बात था आपके लिए, लेकिन आप देखते हैं हमारा आज टॉपिक क्या है। Our next topic is the most important here, major policy and programs on the socio-economical development. This is the most important point here, major policy and programs on a social economical developments here. We have so far tried to understand various issues related to the socio-economic development and empowerment of disadvantaged groups. Now you may be also like to know about the major policy and programs focus on the social economic development. If we discuss all of them, it would be a two executives. We shall therefore discuss below some of the important policy and programs related to only to be education and health. You may be studying the rest in your senior classes. You know that there is a rest in your senior classes on this topic. First of all, it's come here, education for all. This is the most important point here, education for all. You can very well appreciate that not only India but also the entire international community realize the need for providing education to the all. Under the leadership of their UNESCO, a large number of countries meet Jamaica, Thailand in 1990, and they decided to provide education for all by 2000. In 1992, 9 highly populous countries, as namely China, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Nigeria, Mexico, Bangladesh, Brazil, and Egypt, is congregated at the Delhi to reinforce there is a commitment of to about education for all, means a EFA. For the last 2 decades, India, with there is the help of international agencies, has adopted to various measures to avoid achieving their goal of education for all. And these following are the most significant here. The next topic is the most important here, universalization of elementary education. This is the most important. Universalization of elementary education here. The National Policy of Education 1986 envisages that a free and compulsory education should be provided to all children up to the age of 14. The 86th Constitutional Amendment Act 2002 made free and compulsory education a fundamental right for all children in the age group of 6 to 14 years. Recently, India Parliament has indicated the Free and Compulsory Education Act of 2009. As a result of the effort made by the central and state governments, And almost 95% of the country has a rural population now has a primary schools within the 1 kilometers, and about 85% have a upper primary school within the 3 kilometers. This are resulted in here. This is the most important point here. 95% of country has a rural population now. The primary schools within the 1 kilometer, or 95% upper primary school within the 3 kilometers. This is the most important things here of central government. The steady growth of the employment of children of 6 to 14 years of the age in a primary and upper primary school has gone up steadily. Significant improvement have taken place in the environment of girls and scheduled castes and scheduled tribes here. This is important. There has been a significant increasing in the number of primary and upper primary schools is important here. The central and state government over to the period of time involved a struggle to be a reduced dropout rate and improve to the levels of achievement in schools. The steps taken in the direction are the following here. There is the most important direction here. Creating a parental awareness and community mobilizations here, and involvement of communities and Panchayati Raj institution, and economical incentives such as a free education, free books and free uniforms. This is the most important here. Free education, free books and free uniform. Improvement in the contents and process of schooling, and national program of nutritional support to the primary education, means midday meal schemes. This is the most important midday meal schemes here. The following program are specific or named at the universalization of elementary education here. The first of all here, the important is Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. This is the most important. On the mission program for the achievement, their goal of universalization of elementary school, and known as the Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, means SSA, was launched in 2001. The goals of SSA are following. This is the most important goals here. The first goal here in enrollment of all 6 to 14 age group children in the school educational grant schemes, means EGA, Center Bridge and Course by 2005. And second here, the bridge all gender and social categories gap at a primary stage by 2007 and at the elementary education level by 2010. And the next year, universal retention by 2010. And focus on the elementary education of certificate factories, equality with their emphasis on their educations for life. This is the most important of SSA, Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan. The next year, national program of national support to the primary education are midday meal schemes. This is the most important. This program was started on is still continually to be attained their goal of universalization of elementary education. The objective of midday meal schemes are here: improving the nutrition of status of children in the class 1st to 5th in the government, local body and government aided school and the EGS as the AIE centers. This is the most important. And the next year, encouraging poor children by helping disadvantaged section to be attend school more regularly and help them to concentrate on school rooms activities. This is the most important. And providing nutritional support to the children of primary states in the drought effective area during to the summer vacation. The next year, National Literacy Mission. This is the most important year, National Literacy Missions. The National Literacy Mission means NLM was launched in the 1988. This is the most important period of time here, launched in 1988. Its aim is the importance of functional literacy to be adult non-literate in their age of group 15 to 35 in the country. And the main programs of NLM is where the total literacy campaigns to be impart basic literacy to the adult non-literate. It was following by the post-literacy program to reinforce their literacy skill of the new literate. And then the continuing education program was aimed at the providing facilities like rural libraries and readings room for the neo-literates and other section of community. In addition, location training was also provided to be neo-literate and other disadvantaged section of the society through the Jain Shiksha Sansthan. The NLM is result in the following major outcomes here. This is important. It has a two be able to cover 597 districts in the country under various literacy program, and nearly 124 million people are reported to have been to made literate. This is the most important point here regarding to the NLM here. The literacy rate of the country has also increasing from 52.21% in 1991 to 65.37 in 2001. And registering there's one of the highest decadal growth in literacy so far. That is the most important. And however, there is a gains nearly 34% of the non-literate in their 50% age group in the world rare in India. The gender, regional and social disparities are there still continuously here. This is important here. In a view of the above, government of India has decided that a integrated approach to literacy would be a follow now. Or this means a total literacy campaigns and the post literacy programs here will be now operate under one literacy project. And this approach would be enabled to the encouragements literacy problem to be tracked in a holistic manner by the treating the impartings of functional literacy as a continuum rather than to the one of the benefit for the literate person. The input of would be a made goals directed literacy campaigns would be continued to be run in those areas where there are large pools of residual literacy. At the same time, for those who have crossed the basic learning phase and programs of consolidations and vocational skill, integrations with the life skill and the such other asset would be a given priority. This is the most important priority here. And the next point is also important here. Health for all. This is the most important. Health for all. Education for all, but health for all. India was the first country in the world to be launched a comprehensive family planning program in 1951. This is the most important here. India has the first country in the world to launch a comprehensive family planning program in 1951. This was aimed to be enhance individual health and welfare in the country. But there is very few health facilities to be serving their poor people living in a remote rural area. The past 5 decades have witnessed the significant investment in a development network of health centers all over India. This is important here. The development network of health center all over India. However, though we have not achieved their expected infrastructure of sub-centers, primary health and center and community health center. The government has been trying to provide to the health facilities to all the citizens of India here. So the India has been to making a steady to progress in their development in different aspects of health. A lot of progress has to be made to be achieve health for all goal. This is the most important here. The health programs, the health for all by the year 2000. This is the most important period time here. Health for all by the year 2000 was the first incorporated there WHO and UNICEF a meeting at Alma Ata in 1978. As the signatory to his, the government of India is reoriented a priority to the emphasis of primary health care and immunization of family planning and the nutritional support programs. These are the most important programs here. Health care, immunization, family planning and the national nutritional support programs here. The world leader, including India, is committed of himself to be achieved this is ambition to the goal by 2000. During 1951 and 2001, the population in India has increasing almost 3 times for 36.10 crore in 1951 to 102.7 crore in 2001. This is the most important here. And therefore the health system at their crossroads with their wide gap between to the demand and supply. And looking at the distribution of medical facility, we find there is a highly unequal distribution and most of the facilities are concentrated around major cities and towns. To reduce this inequality in the distribution, Government of India started on the ambitious programs known as the National Rural Health Missions, mean NRMHM. There is a National Rural Health Mission. And apart from NRHM, Governments of India has also launched many programs related to health of women and children like a Janani Suraksha Yojana, means JSA, Janani Suraksha Yojana, and Balika Samriddhi Yojana, means BSY. These are most important schemes here. And the Kishori Shakti Yojana, means KSY. With the success of NRHM, means National Rural Health Mission, the Government of India is planning to launch a similar program of the urban area is called National Urban Health Mission. It means to the NUHM, National Urban Health Mission. This is the most important program here. You may see the box, the name of some major national health program that is began to implement. This is the most important box here. Coming next. On your screen, there is a most important box arrive here. National health programs. There is the central government is recognized here. The first of all here is important national health programs here. National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program. This is the most important program here. National Vector-Borne Disease Control Program means NVBDCP. This is the most important schemes. And the next year, National Malaria Control Program. The malaria is the most important here, or National Malaria Control Programs here. And the next year, National Leprosy Eradication Program. This is the most important here. The leprosy is there is a very dangerous for men and women here. And devise the National TB Control Program. TB Control Program, there is the most important schemes here. And the next year, National Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Programs here. This is also important. Iodine Deficiency Disorder Control Program. And the next year, National Mental Health Program. This is the most important. National Mental Health Program. National AIDS Control Program is also important. There is National AIDS Control Program. And the National Cancer Control Program. This is also important for this time. Cancer Control Program. And Universal Immunization Program. This is all important. Universal Immunization Program. And the next year, National Program for Prevention and Control of Defense. Defense, this is the most important. National Program of Prevention of Control of Defense. And pilot of programs and prevention and control of diabetes. Diabetes is the most important in this time. This means to the CVD and there are stroke. National Tobacco Control Program is also important here. National Tobacco Control Program. And the next year, National Program for Control of Blindness. This is a central level program here. There is a given here. The most important here. And this important of topic. This is topics here. And this topics was still this. We will be do the next topics in the next part. And if you like it, is meant to the please like, share, subscribe, and share the video as much as possible. Do not think or subscribe and save in your mobile.